This mainsail is over 8 years old. It has seen thousands and thousands of hard sailing miles throughout the tropical Pacific and Indian Ocean. Even though we have a heavy-duty sewing machine on board, there's times when it's just better, stronger, and easier to glue on a patch. Gluing on patches is especially good in areas of the sail that are just so worn it can't tolerate sewing. This is just a wild dog, hangs out at the marina. He's everybody's friend. He fits under the gate right over here. And so he comes out here looking for a scrap of food or two, but very friendly. My name is Patrick Childress on the Sailboat Brick House. Right now we're in the island of Réunion, out in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It's a very nice French island, but incredibly expensive. Gasoline runs about $6.88. But today we're going to do a sail repair. How to glue a sail repair. All of our sails, the head sail, the jib, the stay sail, and the main are all in good condition. I've already repaired everything on those sails. And the mainsail though is about 8 years old. It has a lot of sewing and a lot of glued patches on it. We have a brand new sail down below that we'll use whenever this one finally just blows out. So we have a good reserve. But for the demonstration today, my friend Keith on the sailboat Atalanta, who just headed off to Madagascar, it was going to throw out this old jib. So I have this as a demonstration and a hole right here that we'll patch up today. And I'll show you how to glue it right now. Okay, normally if this was a real tear in a sail, there would be threads that are just kind of hanging out and getting in the way here for the repair area. So you take a lighter and singe all those threads back and get them out of the way. Step one. Then we would mark out just how big the new patch is going to be. And I don't have any dimensions on how far past, it's just kind of eyeball. It's about 2 and let's make it an even 3 inches by 7 inches. And that'll be the patch to go over and completely surround the tear area. We've got some new sail material, which is about the same weight as this sail. You should really be using some sail material that's a little bit lighter than the original sail. That's because as sails age, they wear out. If you put on too heavy of a sail patch over it, that's a hard spot, and then you get hinging around the edges. But sometimes you have to work with what you have, and that's a good reason why to take, if you have an old sail, cut out a big chunk, roll it up, keep it on your boat for future repairs. We'll go down 7. It's kind of nice, I can roll this down and I use this handrail as a guide. And then we come down. On long runs, you can actually just get this started. And then just push the scissors through. You don't have to snip all the way. And this actually makes for a cleaner cut, as long as you can stay on the line. You don't want to use regular masking tape for taping on the sail material, because that glue will deteriorate and cause a real mess that you have to clean off before you use the sail material. Now we want to round off these corners. Don't want any hard spots, any hard edges. I mean, if you really want to get decorative, you can use a guide like the can here, and that'll come out a little more symmetrical, a little nicer looking. Okay, now we want to set this out and trace around the area where this is going to sit. Or at least leave some marks where it can be positioned. And this side is up. Now the sandpaper, I want to sand this new material to take away any possible sheen on it. If this was my own sail, I wouldn't be sanding on top of it. I'd be sanding on top of this aluminum plate. So I want to take the sheen off of the new material, and this gives it what painters would call tooth. So it's a little more area for the glue to stick to, or in painters, of course, their paint to stick to much better. And we'll do the same thing to the sail repair area. It doesn't take a lot of sanding, just a little bit, like I say, to get any sheen off of it, helps to get any dirt off, makes for a better adhesion. You can see some of the white sanding dust. So we've dusted this off, but now I really want to get it good and clean for proper adhesion. So I'm going to put on the gloves. At this point, I don't want to get any more of my hand oils on any surfaces that we're going to be gluing. These nitrile gloves you can buy at any pharmacy, and it's really best to get the largest size. These are extra large. My hands are medium, but they're far easier to put on and take off if you get the extra large. I'm not going to use paper towels now for cleaning these surfaces. It'll possibly leave just some little fine contaminants behind. So I'm going to use this nice clean rag. And the mineral spirits. Acetone would work as well also. You can see I'm losing my pencil mark, so I have to be careful for that, not to lose everything. Okay, now we need to let this dry. Acetone would dry very quickly, so sometimes it might be better to use acetone for cleaning. Another option. But acetone doesn't work that well for cleaning up the fast cure. I mean, it works, but I think the mineral spirit works better. And in the meantime, we'll have this plate that goes underneath. It's covered with cellophane, and that'll keep a nice flat surface underneath. And any glue that squeezes through, it won't stick to the top of our sailboat. So the aluminum plate that goes on top also gets a wrap of cellophane to make sure nothing sticks to it. Okay, so now we're ready to start gluing up. Here is the glue. It's 5200. Once I'm finished with it here, I'll just clean up these tips, put the top back on, then I'll put it in the freezer. As long as you put it in the freezer, it'll never set up. So you'll get a lot of use out of this. As long as you use a pencil to mark out your paper, you're good. Don't use the magic marker, because you'll never get that magic marker ink off of the outside edges, and it'll look terrible, just like this one here. Even acetone will not take off that discoloration from the magic marker. Now the problem is, what side went where? I don't think it's really going to matter that much as long as we're really close on our marks. Now we'll squeeze everything out as much as we can. And then clean up around the edges. Okay, now we'll set this plate down on top of the sail. This side is nice and clean. We'll put that down on top of the other plate that's underneath. We'll pull things down, and tomorrow we'll come back and pull this up and show you what we have. Okay, so this is the next morning. We're taking everything off. We'll see what it looks like. That's good, no stick. That's well adhered all the way around the edges. I can't dig it up with my fingernails. I made a little mess here, but that's cleaning off. Yeah, so this 5200 doesn't stick that well to dirty surfaces, but it certainly did to this area where it was sanded and then cleaned with the acetone. That's like a very good adhesion. This is better than sewing, because sewing would just leave perforations all the way around the edges. And that's the only thing that would be holding the patch onto the sail. With gluing, it's 100% surface contact. You can't get any stronger than that. Backside, you can see where some of the glue, the 5200 had come through the hole. That's fine. I wouldn't put another patch on this backside to cover that. This is plenty strong the way it is. And as I was saying before, you build up the thickness is too much, then you get a hinge effect. You don't want to over strengthen this area. So I think that's a good solid repair. And if this sail was ever going to be used again, that would probably last longer than any other part of the sail. We left the island of Reunion and now we're in Madagascar. At the end of the last video on galley tips, I showed you a few scenes from around the town where we cleared in. Now we're sailing up the coast of Isla Santa Maria and we're going to go look for lemurs. Lemurs are the coolest animals you can imagine. They're kind of like monkeys, but they're not. They sort of remind me of raccoons, but they're nowhere close to being a raccoon. So just come take a look and you'll have a good time.
Anura mola fubi depositani tu amiseta bitola vola. Bin morama panzutun yeno gomuna he. Siro tani karamboita kuna muamua. Vaniraga tanya minaze. Anura mola fubi depositani tu amiseta bitola vola. Asa mis magala tanga. Attention pour débalancer. Asamis Mangalatanga. Attention pour débalancer. Anura la ubi la tiroku. Anura la ubi la tiroya e. Anura la ubi la tiroku. Anura la ubi la tiroya e. Haro Baba bakcheka jiroku. Olu jabi velu tenge. Apra cara della mappa tutte subilata. La gaffa mandare a piazzare. So devi rangazzare perché forse calata. Piramita che lo funziona. E alla ancora recto. Allo dico qua. Ma non tonne. So Soma wata sady miaigna amin'ny vôlanazy. 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 Hazala afara pigane. Areko missionnaire ndraiky zala. Asa mikatramo coup de balance.
I've been out here swimming with some very large green sea turtles. A lot of fun. At the end of the next video, I'll put some of this underwater footage in there for you. Hey, thanks a lot for watching. I hope this video has been worthwhile for you. If it has, please give it a thumbs up down below there and a subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Mampalahelo ile aminazy tokognane efa 5 jiro samby amano fa izy